1360s. The 1360s was a decade of the Julian calendar which began on January 1, 1360, and ended on December 31, 1369. Events: 1360, January-December. October 24, the Treaty of Bretognese ratified at Calais, marking the end of the first phase of the Hundred Years' War. Under its terms, Edward Roman III gives up his claim to the French throne and releases King John Roman II of France in return for French land, including Calais and Gascony. Date unknown. King Valdemar Atterdag of Denmark reconquers Scania, which has been in Swedish possession since 1332. Shah Shuja regains rule of the Museefarid tribe in Persia after the death of his brother, Shah Mahmud. Norazbeg overthrows his brother Kolpa as Khan of the Blue Horde. Muhammad VI overthrows his brother-in-law, Ismail Roman II, as King of Granada in present-day Spain. He is in turn overthrown this same year by the former king, Muhammad V. Dmitry Konstantinovich is installed as ruler of Vladimir, now in eastern Russia, by the Khan of the White Horde. 1361. January-December. March 17, and Nasir Hassan, Mamluk Sultan of Egypt, is killed by one of his own Mamluks, Yalbug al-Umari, who, with the senior Mamluk emirs, has Al-Mansur Mohammed installed as the new sultan. April 13, the University of Pavia is founded on the Italian peninsula. July 27, Battle of Visby. King Valdemar Roman IV of Denmark conquers the city of Visby by defeating his peasant army. This allows Lubeck to become the new leading city of the Hanseatic League. October 10, Edward, the Black Prince, marries Joan of Kent. Date unknown. In the Marinid Empire in modern-day Morocco, Abu Salam Ibrahim is overthrown by Abu Umar, who is in turn overthrown by Abu Zayn. The Blue Horde descends into anarchy. Between 1361 and 1378, over 20 khans succeed each other in different parts of the Blue Horde's territory. Chinese rebels capture the Goryeo capital. The earliest known musical keyboard instrument is built with the layout of black and white keys that has since become standard. 1362. January-December. January 1, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania switches New Year to January 1 before any other country does. January 16, De Groot Mandrank storm tide strikes the Netherlands, England, Germany, and Denmark, destroying the Danish settlement of Rungholt in the Duchy of Schleswig and the Humber estuary port of Ravensrad in England. The East Frisian island of Buys is broken into two by North Sea floods. February 15, King Haakon VI of Norway, son of Magnus Roman IV of Sweden, proclaims himself King of Sweden in opposition to his father. However, later during the year, father and son are reconciled and rule Sweden together. April, Muhammad V, Sultan of Granada, returns to the throne after the murder of the usurper Muhammad VI. April 6, Battle of Bretognese, the Free Companies defeat a French army. April 6, a fire destroys much of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin. April 17, Kaunas Castle falls to the Teutonic Order after a month-long siege. June, under the terms of the will of Sir John de Wingfield, died 1361, the Church of St. Andrew and a college of priests are founded in Wingfield, Suffolk, England. June 22, an alliance is formed between England and Castile. September 28, Pope Urban V succeeds Pope Innocent VI as the 200th Pope. October 13, the Chancellor of England, for the first time, opens Parliament with a speech in English. Under Edward Roman III of England, the Pleading in English Act makes English rather than Law French the official language in law courts. November, Lionel of Antwerp, son of King Edward Roman III of England, is created Duke of Clarence. December 21, Constantine Roman IV succeeds his cousin, Constantine Roman III, as King of Armenia. Date unknown. Autumn 1362 or 1363, Battle of Blue Waters, Grand Duke of Lithuania Algirdas defeats the Tatars and takes over Kiev. Louis I of Hungary defeats and captures Ivan S. Ratzimir of Bulgaria and conquers northern Bulgaria, extending his control over the Balkans. The Ottomans capture Philippopolis and Adrianople, the modern-day city of Edirne, from the Byzantine Empire, reducing its territory to the city of Constantinople, part of the Peloponnesus, and some islands. Murad I succeeds his father Orhan as Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. Valdemar Roman IV of Denmark defeats the Hanseatic League in the naval battle of Helsingborg. Shabuddin succeeds his brother, Alauddin Ali Shah, as Sultan of Kashmir. The Oryfjordkut volcano erupts in Iceland, resulting in the destruction of the district of Litlahorad by flood and tephra fall. The English Hospice of the Most Holy Trinity and St. Thomas is founded in Rome. It goes on to become the English College, a center for training English priests in Rome. Purported date of the inscription of the Kensington runestone at Salem, Minnesota. 1363. January-December. April 9, Håkon VI of Norway marries Margaret I of Denmark. August, the revolt of St. Titus against the rule of the Republic of Venice in the Kingdom of Candia, island of Crete, begins. August 30, October 4, Battle of Lake Poying. The Dahan rebel forces of Chen Yuliang are defeated by the Red Turban rebel forces of Zhu Yuanzhang during the final decade of Yuan dynasty control over China. Zhu's naval forces of 200,000 are pitted against Chen's naval forces of 650,000 troops in what is not only the largest naval battle of the medieval age, but also one of the largest naval battles in history. Date unknown. Byzantine-Ottoman Wars. Ottoman Turks seize Philippopolis in Thrace. The Byzantine Empire wins a naval battle over the Ottoman Empire near Megara, Greece. Dmitry Donskoy, Prince of the Grand Duchy of Moscow, dethrones Dmitry of Suzdal to become Grand Prince of Vladimir. Philip the Bold becomes Duke of Burgundy. Al-Afdal el-Abbas succeeds al-Mujahid Ali as Rasulid Sultan of Yemen. The Mosque Madrasa of Sultan Hassan is completed in Cairo, Egypt. 1364. January-December. February 15, joint kings Magnus Eriksson and Håkon Magnusson of Sweden are both deposed by noblemen, who instead elect Magnus's nephew Albrecht of Mecklenburg the new king of Sweden. April 8, Charles V becomes king of France. May 12, the Jagiellonian University is founded in Krakow. July 28, Battle of Casanova, forces of the Republic of Florence, led by Galotto Malatesta, defeat those of Pisa. 6 August, Ignatius Saba I becomes the Syriac Orthodox Patriarch of Tur Abdin. September 10, Philip of Anjou becomes titular Emperor of Constantinople and Prince of Taranto. September 29, Battle of Auray, the Breton War of Succession ends with the victory of the House of Montfort over Charles of Blois. Date unknown. Vladislav I, also known as Leku Voda, becomes Voivode of Wallachia. Pigdana Monastery is built in Moldavia. Rana Keshatra Singh succeeds Rana Hamir Singh as ruler of Mewar, part of modern-day western India. Anavar Reddy succeeds Anavota Reddy as ruler of the Reddy dynasty in Andhra Pradesh, part of modern-day southern India. The kingdom of Ava is established by Thado Minbia in modern-day northern Burma. Some chronicles and sources, however, date the event in 1365. 1365. January-December. March 3, Battle of Gattiskegen. Albert of Mecklenburg defeats and captures Magnus Eriksson, obtaining the throne of Sweden. March 12, the University of Vienna is founded. June 2, the Hungarian occupation of Vidin begins with the capture of the city by Louis I of Hungary's forces and the imprisonment of Ivan S. Ratzimir of Bulgaria. October, Alexandrian Crusade. The city of Alexandria in Egypt is sacked by an allied force of Peter I of Cyprus and the Knights of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem. November 30, the Nagarakritagama, a Javanese epic poem chronicling the journey of the Majapahit king Hayam Wiruk through his kingdom, is completed by Mpu Prapanka. Date unknown. Adrianople, modern-day Edirne, becomes the capital city of the Ottoman Sultanate. In modern-day southern India, Balmani Sultan Mohammad Shah invades the Vijayanagara Empire. The Sukhothai kingdom in northern Thailand becomes a tributary state of the Ayutthaya kingdom. 1366. March 13, Henry Roman II deposes his half-brother, Pedro of Castile, to become King of Castile. October 12, Frederick Roman III of Sicily forbids decorations on synagogues. October 26, Comet 55P/Tempel Tuttle passes 0.22903 million, 430,000 km, 2,130,000 mi from Earth. Date unknown. Thomas Fraser obtains lands in Aberdeenshire, upon which he starts the building of a tower house that will later be known as Muchal's Castle. Muhammad V builds the Granada Hospital in Granada in present-day Spain. War continues between the Hindu Vijayanagara Empire and the Muslim Balmani Sultanate in present-day southern India. Tens of thousands of civilians are massacred by each side. Dmitry Donskoy, ruler of Moscow, and Vladimir makes peace with Dmitry Konstantinovich, former ruler of Vladimir. Abu Faris Abdelaziz I of Morocco succeeds assassinated Abu Zayn as Sultan of the Marinid Empire in Morocco. The Den Hoorn Brewery is founded at Leuven in the Low Countries. In 1708 this would be renamed the Brouwerij Artois, and later releases a beer named Stella Artois. The Statutes of Kilkenny are passed in Ireland. Zhu Yuanzhang, leader of the Red Turban Rebellion that will overthrow the Yuan dynasty and establish the Ming Dynasty 2 years later, begins building the walls for a new capital city at Nanjing. 1367. January-December. January 18, Ferdinand I becomes King of Portugal after the death of his father, Peter I. April 3, Battle of Nazareth. Pedro of Castile is restored as King of Castile in modern-day Spain after defeating his half-brother, Henry Roman II. Pedro is aided in the battle by the English under Edward, the Black Prince, and Henry by the French. April 24, Otto I the Evil becomes Duke of the independent city of Göttingen in modern-day Germany on the death of his father. October 16, Pope Urban V makes the first attempt to move the papacy back to Rome from Avignon. This move is reversed in 1370, when he is forced to return to Avignon and shortly afterwards dies. Winter construction of a stone Moscow Kremlin wall around the city is begun to resist invasion by the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. And Petru I succeeds his grandfather Bogdan I as voivode, ruler of Moldavia. Undated, the first university in Pécs, Hungary, is founded by King Louis I. 1368. January-December. January 23, the Hongwu Emperor Zhiyunzhang establishes the Ming Dynasty in China after the disintegration of the Mongol Yuan dynasty. He immediately orders every county magistrate to set up 4 granaries and halts government taxation on books. March 29, Emperor Chokai accedes to the throne of Japan. Date unknown. The revolt of St. Titus against rule of the Republic of Venice in the Kingdom of Candia Island of Crete ends in failure. Thurs, the second largest city in modern-day Albania at this time, known as Dhehachium, is captured from the Angevins by Karlthopia, a powerful feudal prince and warlord. Latku, son of Bogdan I, deposes his nephew Petru I and becomes voivode of Moldavia. Timur ascends the throne of Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. Mahathamaraja Roman II becomes ruler of the Sukhothai kingdom in modern-day northern Thailand after the death of Mahathamaraja I. Work begins on the surviving Great Wall of China. Mikhail Alexandrovich becomes the sole ruler of Tver in modern-day Western Russia, after the death of co-ruler and rival Vasily Mikhailovich of Kashin. Moscow attacks Tver, which counter-attacks with the aid of Lithuania and the Blue Horde. The King of Norway sends the last royal ship from Norway to the Greenland Eastern settlement. This event is part of both the Norse colonization of the Americas and of the history of Greenland. A peace treaty is signed between Norway and the Hanseatic League. The Bibliothèque Nationale de France National Library of France is founded as the Royal Library at the Louvre Palace in Paris by Charles V of France. Petrarch concludes writing the sequence of Italian sonnets and other poems known as Il Canzoniere. 1369. January-December. February, Vladislav I of Wallachia liberates Vidin from the Hungarians, resulting in the restoration of Ivanis Ratzimir on the throne of Bulgaria in the autumn. March 14, Battle of Montiel. Pedro of Castile loses to an alliance between the French and his half-brother, Henry Roman II, making Charles V of France renounces the Treaty of Bretognese, and war is declared between France and England. September Hundred Years' War. The French burn Portsmouth, England, the English raid Picardy and Normandy. November 30 Hundred Years' War. Charles V of France recaptures most of Aquitaine from the English. December financed by Charles V of France, Welshman Owain Logach launches an invasion fleet against the English in an attempt to claim the throne of Wales. A storm causes Owain to abandon the invasion. Dates unknown. The Ottoman Empire invades Bulgaria. Venice repels a Hungarian invasion. The Thai Kingdom conquers Cambodia for a second time. Charles V of France orders Hugues Aubriot to construct the fortress of the Bastille in Paris. Timur names the city of Samarkand as the capital of his empire. Khasis becomes the first town in Europe to be granted its own coat of arms. The Hongwu Emperor of the Chinese Ming Dynasty issues a decree ordering every country magistrate in the empire to open a Confucian school of learning. The official production of Jingdezhen porcelain in Ming Dynasty China is on record. Significant people. Births. 1360. January 8 Ulrich von Jungingen, German Grand Master of the Teutonic Knights d. 1410. March 31 Philippa of Lancaster, Queen Consort of Portugal d. 1415. May 2 Chu Tai Yongle Emperor of China d. 1424. June 24 Nuno Alvares Pereira, Portuguese General d. 1431. August 10 Francisco Zaberla, Italian jurist d. 1417. Date unknown. Amadeus Roman 7, Count of Savoy d. 1391. Bayezid I, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire d. 1403. Giovanni di Bixi de' Medici, Italian banker, founder of the Medici dynasty of Florence d. 1429. Yi Jong-mu, Korean general d. 1425. Andrei Rublev, Russian painter d. 1430, 1830, 1830, 1830, 1830, 1830, 1830, 1830, 1830. Stanislaw of Skarbomirs, Polish religious writer d. 1431–1361. February 26 Wenceslaus, King of the Romans, King of Bohemia d. 1419. Date unknown. John Beaumont, 4th Baron Beaumont, Constable of Dover Castle d. 1396. Isabella, Countess of Foix, vassal ruler d. 1428. King Charles Roman III of Navarre d. 1425. Shi Xiang, Chinese tribute chieftain d. 1396–1362. January 16 Robert de Vere, Duke of Ireland d. 1392. Date unknown. Murdoch Stewart, 2nd Duke of Albany d. 1425. Empress Ming Dynasty of China d. 1407. Probable Wang Fu, Chinese painter d. 1416–1363. July 2 Maria, Queen of Sicily d. 1401. 1. December 13 Jean Gerson, Chancellor of the University of Paris d. 1429. Date unknown. Margaret of Bavaria, Burgundian regent d. 1423. Thomas Langley, Bishop of Durham and Lord Chancellor of England d. 1437, T7. Probable Zimi Matakio, Japanese actor and playwright d. 1443–1364. November 30 John Fitz Allen, 2nd Baron Arundel, English soldier d. 1390. December 16 Emperor Manuel Roman III of Trebizond d. 1417. Date unknown. Christine de Pizan, French writer d. 1430. 1830. Charles Roman II, Duke of Lorraine d. 1431. Gyaltsab G, first throne holder of the Gelug tradition of Buddhism d. 1432. Khedizada al-Rumi, Persian mathematician d. 1436–1365. January 27 Edward of Angoulême, French-born royal prince of England d. 1370. July 25 Yu of Goryeo, Korean king d. 1389. Date unknown Abd al-Karim al-Jili, Baghdadi Sufi author d. 1424. Approximate date Violent of Bar, Queen Regent of Aragon d. 1431–1366. May 11 Anne of Bohemia, Queen of Richard Roman II of England d. 1394. August 28 Jean Le Menger, Marshal of France d. 1421. Date unknown. Lady Elizabeth Fitz-Allen, English noblewoman d. 1425. Marin Shah, Governor of Azerbaijan d. 1408. Approximate. Leonard de Bohun, English noble d. 1399–1367. C7. January 6 King Richard Roman II of England d. 1400. March 22 or 1368 Thomas de Mowbray, 1st Duke of Norfolk, English politician d. 1399. June 13 King Taejong, Joseon, Korean king d. 1422. Date unknown Michael de Lapold, 2nd Earl of Suffolk, English politician d. 1415. Probable Mary of Enghien, Queen Consort of Naples d. 1446–1368. February 14 Sigismund, Holy Roman Emperor d. 1437–37. December 3 King Charles VI of France d. 1422. Probable. Louis Roman VII, Duke of Bavaria d. 1447. K7. Ida de Grey, Cambro-Norman noble d. 1426. Pope Martin V d. 1431. Thomas Hockle, English poet d. 1426–1369. May 28 Museo Sforza, Italian condottiero d. 1424. Date unknown William de Rose, 6th Baron de Rose, Lord Treasurer of England d. 1414. Probable King Constantine I of Georgia d.c. 1412. Approximate Jan Hus, Czech priest and philosopher d. 1415. Approximate Margareta, Swedish Sami missionary d. 1425. Deaths 1360. February 26 Roger Mortimer, 2nd Earl of March, English military leader b. 1328. September 16 William de Bohun, 1st Earl of Northampton b. 1319. September 29 Joanna I of Auvergne, Queen Consort of France b. 1326. November 4 Elizabeth de Clare, English noblewoman b. 1295. December 26 Thomas Holland, 1st Earl of Kent. Date unknown. David Roman IX of Georgia, King of Georgia. Geoffrey the Baker, English chronicler. Isabella, Countess of Brienne, Countess of Lex. Nicephorus Gregores, Byzantine historian b. 1295–1361. 1. T1 61. January 7 Gerlach I of Nassau Wiesbaden. March 17 and Nasir Hassan, Mamluk Sultan of Egypt b. 1334–35. March 23 Henry of Grosmont, Duke of Lancaster, English soldier and diplomat. May 21 Orhan Gazi, Ottoman Sultan b. 1274. June 9 Philip de Vitry, French composer b. 1291. June 15 Johannes Tauler, German mystic theologian. June 17 Ingeborg of Norway, Princess Consort and Regent of Sweden b. 1301. September 18 Louis V, Duke of Bavaria, b. 1315. October 4 John de Mowbray, 3rd Baron Mowbray, English Baron, b. 1310. October 8 John Beauchamp, 3rd Baron Beauchamp, Warden of the Cinque Ports. November 21 Philip I, Duke of Burgundy, plague, b. 1346. Date unknown. Giovanni, son of Francisco Petrarch, plague, 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 plague. Richard Baidu, Chancellor of Cambridge University. Reginald de Cobham, 1st Baron Cobham, b. 1295. Haji Beg, Barla's leader, 1362. March Orhan, Ottoman Sultan, b. 1281. April 6 James I, Count of La Marche, French soldier, b. 1319. April 10 Maud, Countess of Leicester, b. 1339. May 26 Louis of Taranto, b. 1320. July 11 Anna von Schweidnitz, Empress of Charles, Roman 4b. 1339 childbirth. July 22 Louis of Durazzo, Italian soldier, poisoned, b. 1324. September 7 Joan of the Tower, Queen Consort of King David, Roman II of Scotland, b. 1321. September 12 Pope Innocent VIB, 1282 or 1295. December 10 Frederick Roman III, Duke of Austria, second son of Duke Albert Roman II of Austria, b. 1347. December 21 Constantine Roman III, King of Armenia, b. 1313. Date unknown. Emperor John of Trebizond, 1363. January 13 Maynard Roman III, Count of Tyrol. March 3 Simone Bicangro, 1st Doge of Genoa. Approximate date c. April Blanche of Namur, Queen Consort of Sweden, b. 1320. July 29 John Bardolph, 3rd Baron Bardolph, b. 1314. August 23 Chen Yuliang, founder of the Dahan regime, b. 1320. October 7 Elinor de Bohun, Countess of Ormond, b. 1304. Date unknown. Adil Sultan, Khan of the Chagatai Khanate. Jean Beridan, French philosopher, b. 1295. Probable Ranulph Higden, English chronicler, b.c. 1299-1364. April 8 King John Roman II of France, b. 1319. June 19 Elisenda of Montcada, Queen Consort and Regent of Aragon, b. 1292. June 30 Arnost of Pardubice, Archbishop of Prague, b. 1297. August 5 Emperor Kagan of Japan, b. 1313. September 10 Robert of Taranto. September 29 Charles I, Duke of Brittany, b. 1319. Date unknown. Nicholas Alexander, Voivode of Wallachia, Kanja Prime Minister of the Majapahit Empire, 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 Empire. King Valdemar Roman III of Denmark, b. 1314-1365. March 8 Queen Nagak of Korea. May 17 Louis VI, the Roman Duke of Bavaria and Elector of Brandenburg, b. 1328. July 27 Rudolph Roman IV, Duke of Austria, b. 1339. December 8 Nicholas Roman II, Duke of Opava, b. 1288. Date unknown. Zhu Durun, Chinese painter and poet, b. 1294-1366. January 25 Henry Suzo, German mystic, b.c. 1295. April 26 Simon Islip, Archbishop of Canterbury. May 20 Maria of Calabria, Empress of Constantinople, b. 1329. Summer Ming Yuzhen, founder of the rebel Empire of Daxia, b. 1331. October 18 Petrus Torkilson, Archbishop of Uppsala 1367. January 9, Giulia della Rinna, Italian saint b. 1319. January 18, King Peter I of Portugal b. 1320. April 13, John Tiptoft, 2nd Baron Tibetan b. 1313. August 23, Gil Alvarez Carolo de Albornoz, Spanish Cardinal b. 1310. September 25, Jakishitsu Genko, Japanese poet b. 1290. December 28, Ashikaga Yoshikura, Japanese shogun b. 1330. Date unknown. Bogdan I of Moldavia 1368. March 29, Emperor Go Murakami of Japan b. 1328. August 25, Andrea Orcagna, Italian painter, sculptor, and architect. September 12, Blanche of Lancaster, English Duchess, spouse of John of Gaunt b. 1345. October 7, Lionel of Antwerp, 1st Duke of Clarence, son of Edward Roman III of England b. 1338. Undated Mahathamaraja I Thai ruler of the Sukhothai kingdom and Buddhist philosopher b.c. 1300. Probable Ibn Battuta, Arabian traveler 1369. January 17, King Peter I of Cyprus murdered b. 1328. March 23, King Peter of Castile b. 1334 murdered after the Battle of Montiel. August 15, Philippa of Hainault, Queen of Edward Roman III of England b. 1311 Dropsy. October 3, Margaret, Countess of Tyrol b. 1318. November 13, Thomas de Beauchamp, 11th Earl of Warwick. Date unknown. Sir John Chandos, English knight. Agnes Dunbar, Countess of Moray. Magnus the Pious, Duke of Brunswick-Lunenburg. Ramathabodhi I, 1st King of Ayutthaya b. 1314. References